Imagine falling from the sky and surviving, or getting swallowed by an icy river, frozen solid, and coming back to life. These are not movies. These are real stories. Today, I'm sharing with you 10 absolutely insane survival tales that sound made up, but they're 100% true. And stick around until the end for a bonus story about someone who faced death again and again and still came out alive. Let's get into it. Number 10. Anna Bågenholm, frozen solid and lived in 1999. A Swedish medical student named Anna Bågenholm went skiing with friends in Norway. It was supposed to be a fun afternoon. Instead, it became the ultimate test of human survival. Anna fell headfirst into a frozen stream. The ice cracked, and she slipped underneath. Her friends tried desperately to pull her out, but the current pinned her under the ice. Minutes passed, then an hour. When rescuers finally pulled her out, she wasn't breathing. Her body temperature had plunged to 56 degrees Fahrenheit, way past what is considered survivable. In the ER, doctors refused to give up. They hooked her to a heart-lung machine, slowly warmed her blood. And after hours of effort, her heart started beating again. Anna not only survived, she walked out of the hospital with no brain damage, frozen solid, and still alive. Number 9. Roy Sullivan, the man lightning couldn't kill. Most people go their entire lives without being struck by lightning. Roy Sullivan got struck 7 times. Roy was a park ranger in Virginia. Over 3 decades, he survived lightning strikes while on duty, fishing, walking, and even just standing near his car. His hair was burned off. His shoes exploded. He once even fought off a bear immediately after being struck. Somehow, he lived every time. In the end, it wasn't lightning that got him. Roy died peacefully in his 70s of natural causes, after cheating death more times than anyone could count. Number 8. Julianne Coep, fell from the sky, Christmas Eve, 1971. Julianne Coep was flying over the Amazon rainforest when her plane was hit by lightning and broke apart midair. She was strapped to her seat and fell 10,000 feet into the jungle. When she woke up, she was alone, battered, and surrounded by the dense, humming jungle. She had a broken collarbone, a gash across her leg, and maggots crawling inside her wounds. But Julianne had been raised by biologist parents who taught her about survival. For 11 days, she wandered, following streams to civilization, surviving on candy from the wreckage. Finally, exhausted and delirious, she stumbled upon a logging camp. Against every odd imaginable, she survived. Number 7. Mauro Prosperi, lost in the Sahara, 1994. Mauro Prosperi was competing in the Marathon des Sables, a 6-day, 150-mile race across the Sahara Desert. A massive sandstorm hit. Disoriented, Mauro veered off course. He wandered for 9 days under the burning sun. He drank his own urine. He ate bats he found inside an abandoned mosque. At one point, he tried to take his own life, but was so dehydrated, his body couldn't even bleed. Finally, Mauro stumbled into a nomadic settlement, 180 miles off course, and collapsed. He survived, 40 pounds lighter, but very much alive. Number 6. Tammy Oldham Ashcraft, 41 days adrift. Narrator: Tammy Oldham and her fiancé, Richard, were sailing across the Pacific when they hit a Category 4 hurricane. The boat capsized. Richard was thrown overboard and lost. Tammy, injured and alone, woke up in the wreckage. She had no radio, no motor, and a broken mast, but she refused to die. Using a makeshift sail, a sextant, and sheer willpower, she navigated 1,500 miles over 41 days to the Hawaiian Islands, starving, injured, and utterly alone. Her story was later turned into the movie Adrift, but the real version is even more brutal. Number 5. Hugh Glass, mauled and left for dead, 1823. Frontiersman Hugh Glass was exploring the wilds of South Dakota when he stumbled across a grizzly bear and her cubs. The bear tore him apart, breaking bones, ripping his flesh. His companions, assuming he was about to die, left him with a shallow grave and moved on. But Glass refused. He set his own broken leg. He let maggots eat the dead flesh off his back to prevent infection. And then he crawled and hobbled over 200 miles, fueled by pure rage and survival instinct. His story later inspired The Revenant, but no movie could capture the sheer brutality of what Hugh Glass endured. Number 4. Bahia Bakery, the girl who survived the ocean. July 2009. Yemenia Flight 626 crashed into the Indian Ocean during a botched landing attempt. Out of 153 people on board, only one survived. 14-year-old Bahia Bakery. She couldn't swim. She clung to debris in rough seas for 9 hours in the dark, with sharks circling nearby before rescuers spotted her. Broken collarbone, exhaustion, hypothermia. But she made it. Number 3. Joe Simpson escaped from the glacier. 1985. Joe Simpson and Simon Yates were climbing Sola Grande in the Peruvian Andes. During the descent, Joe fell and shattered his leg. Hanging off the cliffside, Simon eventually had to cut the rope to save his own life. Joe plummeted into a deep crevasse. Somehow, he survived the fall. Crawling, sliding, dragging his broken body, he moved inch by inch back to base camp over days. His survival is one of the most incredible feats of mountaineering history and became the basis of Touching the Void. Number 2. Frane Selak, luckiest man alive. Croatian music teacher Frane Selak has the wildest survival record in history. He survived a train crash into a freezing river, a plane crash where he was blown out of the door and landed safely in a haystack, a bus crash that killed 4 people, 2 car explosions, being hit by a bus, and in 2003 he bought a lottery ticket on a whim and won $1 million. Either the universe hated him or loved him. No. 1. Vesna Vulović, 33,000 feet without a parachute, 1972. Vesna Vulović was a flight attendant on JT Flight 367 when a bomb detonated in the baggage hold. The plane broke apart over Czechoslovakia at 33,000 feet. Vesna, pinned inside a section of the fuselage, fell all the way down, smashing into a snowy, forested hillside. Somehow, the snow and the angle of the impact cushioned her fall. She suffered massive injuries, but she survived and lived a long life after, becoming a national hero. She holds the Guinness World Record for the highest fall without a parachute, and nobody's come close. Bonus story: Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived 2 atomic bombs. Some people dodged death once. Tsutomu Yamaguchi dodged it twice, in the most unimaginable way. August 6, 1945, he was in Hiroshima for a business trip when the first atomic bomb dropped. Severely burned, he somehow made it out alive and returned to his home city. 3 days later, as he was explaining the bombing to coworkers, the second atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki. He survived both bombings. Tsutomu lived into his 90s, a symbol of resilience beyond comprehension. Death had these people in its sights, and somehow they just slipped away. Which survival story blew your mind the most? Drop your favorite in the comments, and hey, if you enjoyed cheating death vicariously today, hit that like button. Stay curious, stay safe, and maybe stay indoors.